Hey there, my name is John and this is Daniel, and we're the co-founders of Talua and Aquaponics AI, and these companies are focused on aquaponic technology and empowering communities to live better lives and more whole lives, and to have businesses and run them well, and to connect them with distribution and to work through all of these different facets of having an aquaponics farm for the sake of their own liberation so that they can live a more healthy life. And so we are actually in Jordan, overlooking this beautiful farmland beneath us. And Jordan is actually only 7% farmable land. It only has 7%. And so when you're talking about farmable land, this is basically it, with the exception of a few other areas. And so both Daniel and I are passionate about seeing farming extend beyond these areas into the urban settings. And so we're seeing this momentum in aquaponics, and we're excited to share that with you. We have representatives from private sector and from the NGO world, and they're talking about governmental areas as well. And we're seeing next-gen farming slowly take its hold on different agricultural sectors, sectors within agriculture, and people are really starting to adopt the idea of next-gen farming.
Yeah, we're excited to share the momentum here in Jordan. We see Jordan as a perfect place for aquaponics, from the little land that's farmable to the water scarcity issues that the region in Jordan is facing. It only rains in Jordan from about November to April, and agriculture is very dependent on rainfall here. And so again, seeing aquaponics can help solve those issues. Unemployment is increasing, especially because of pandemic, up to about 23% unemployment here, with a very, very young population. And so we're excited about what's happening in Jordan. Jordan has a historical background of people in agriculture, a young generation that is tech savvy, that are extremely intelligent, innovative, and so we're excited to work with people like that here in Jordan and see aquaponics make an impact.
So what you're going to see next is we're going to be talking to Daffy, which was one of the first aquaponic practitioners here in Jordan, and he started back in 2010. And he was very passionate about getting invested in aquaponics early, and he is still to this day very excited about the potential of aquaponics. So let's go and hear from him.
Hi, my name is Daffy Jaradat. I'm an industrial engineer, but my passion is all about agriculture. Basically, I've been in love with agriculture since day one, since I was a little kid. I used to go out with my grandpa, and I used to go out with my dad to the land. Here is where I started like having fun with the agricultural stuff. In my way of passion, I started with aquaponics back in 2010. I started like watching a video on YouTube, and it amazed me, like, what is this technology and how can we get used to it? My first hobby scale backyard aquaponics system, I made it back in our farm in Irbid in 2010, and from that I started like getting into it with taking online courses. We even sent our brother, my brother, we sent him to the States to take one of the most powerful, let's say, aquaponic courses. And from then we started building new systems, and we started building aquaponic system for people, for households, as a hobby. And from then we started making like some connections in terms of aquaponics, introducing people to aquaponics. And in 2016 we have managed to make the first commercial scale system in Jordan. It was like a big challenge for us, and it was something wonderful. Once you see it on ground, you have the most amazing thing going on. Being in the market in aquaponics since 2010, you can see and tell the difference between 2010 and 2020 in terms of how many people knows about aquaponics now and how many enthusiast people that like to start with aquaponics. The pandemic has opened our eyes about food security. One of the most challenging things that producing your own vegetables and producing your own fruits, the pandemic has put its finger on that you need to grow your own vegetables, because the access to, as we said, the access to the fresh water and the access to good food is now became like a challenge for governments. And to have like these kind of systems, aquaponics or hydroponics or aeroponics, whatever the systems that you are using, is now a good thing, and it's the trend now. As we all know, the Martians the documentary about going to Mars, they are using these kind of technologies in terms to produce these type of vegetables. So basically it's the future. One of the most important things that supported us, we have to do many things by ourselves, which means that we need to educate ourselves about these systems. Trial and error are something good, but also theories are something better that you have to get to be a backbone for you. So we managed to take a course in the University of Virgin Island with Dr. James Rakusi. He's one of the best. He managed to educate us about these systems and how are we going to grow our vegetables. He was a supportive person. He's the father of aquaponics basically. So what we have gained during these years and following to that course was something amazing, that we have managed to build our first commercial aquaponics system in Jordan that were operating fully and operating perfectly.
So that was Daffy. He had his farm just south of Amman, and he did really well with aquaponics there, and so now we're actually heading out to a different farm run by Muhammad and Yazin. And they actually have a cool setup that they have overlooking the entire valley, and it's actually really close to Mount Nebo, if you're familiar. And it overlooks the Jordan Valley, so you can see all the farmland. That's part of the 7% of farmland here in arable land here in Jordan. And so we're going to be talking to them about their setup.
So yeah, they first started with a farmhouse out here. They had a former swimming pool, and so they had that as their fish tank and built a greenhouse around that, but found out that their filtration wasn't great, and so they've since started a new build and have a new greenhouse with better filtration, and we're excited to show you what they're doing. They're also one of the first in Jordan to start with aquaponics, and they have a great vision, and looking forward to introducing you guys to them.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
النظام الاكوابونكس موجود من السبعينات لكن احنا بالاردن امتى فكرنا فيه؟ لما صار في شح المياه ظاهر عندنا في الاردن. فموضوع شح المياه صار بدك تدور على تقنيات جديدة لتحاول تزرع بأضعاف الإنتاج بماء قليل. فإحنا من 5 سنوات تقريبا أو 6 سنوات بلشنا بالفكرة إنه كيف نقدر نعملها أو نسوقها حتى تسويق. المزرعة هاي موجودة لإخواني، فكنا نستعملها كمزرعة عائلية، يعني نيجي نزور كل أسبوع ونقعد فيها بس. لكن فكرنا إنه نستغلها بطريقة إنه نستعمل جزء من الأرض لغايات زراعة الأكوابونكس. الأكوابونكس في الأردن لسه شوية، في الناس اللي بتشتغل فيها عددهم قليل، فيها تخوف من الفشل، أو في ناس تعتقد إنها كلفتها عالي، وهذا صحيح. وبعدين إلها علوم، يعني إلها علوم تختلف عن الزراعة التقليدية، حتى حشراتها، حتى مشاكلها، فيروسات تختلف شوي. الزراعة الأكوابونكس بناء على البيئة اللي انت فيها، فبدك تدرسها أول، بعدين تنطلق باتجاه إنه كيف تسيطر عليها، لأنه الكنترول، السيطرة على البيئة هو أهم شيء في الموضوع الزراعة هاي. بعدين بصير تعطيك وتنتج مظبوط. احنا جربنا إنتاج كل أنواع النباتات المستخدمة الآن في زراعة الهيدروبونكس والأكوابونكس، لدرجة إنه حتى زرعنا شجر داخل البيوت. ان شاء الله ناويين هلا ننتج بطريقه اخرى باستخدام الداتش باكيت اللي هم الاسطوله سطل، نستعمل ونحط فيه تربه الميديا تبعتها ونعمل دراسه على كيف انه نعملها كانها سيموليشن، كانها ارض عاديه في سطل في داتش باكيت، وان شاء الله قريب نشتغل على الموضوع.
So I'm glad you got to see kind of what the rural setting looks like and how it's being invaded by aquaponics basically. And now we want to take you to another place inside the urban city center. And so you see behind me it's quite busy, and just behind me in the corner is the next farm we're going to be visiting. It's a farm run by a guy named Suhaib. He's a good friend of ours now. And you're going to get to see how he's running it within the city center.
Okay, so welcome here to see one of our aquaponic project in Jordan, in the urban city of Amman. Please come in. So as you can see here, the project is like surrounded by residential area, and also from that side is the commercial area. This is where we can supplying water to the project. So just a 2 meters water tank. Okay. So here's the project, and here, as you can see, is the aquaponic project inside. Please come in. Okay, we use this net just to preventing any bugs coming inside. And here, this is, we use it as a wicking bed. So just to tell people more, here, this is small carrot. We're trying to do some experiment because aquaponic can work for everything. And we have here some basil, mint. This is right system, but unfortunately now because we harvest a lot, so now we just will drop this later on. And most important, what we will have is come here. This is a fish tank, swirler filter, mineralization tank, and here's the media. We have pepper, red pepper, and mostly we have all kind of tomatoes. Trust me. This one, small fresh tomato. Please. We have chili tomato as well. Here, ready to be eaten. And we have chocolate tomato, as they can say. Right. So aquaponic works fine. Just try it. Well, I'm thinking to do commercial farming in order to show to the people like aquaponic can do for commercial, and push them to start to change their ideas about other projects in agricultures, because aquaponic can succeed in reducing water and do food security and sustainable agriculture. As you can see, this area is inside urban cities, in the city center of Amman, and my front side is the main road, surrounding from the outside with a building, commercial and residential buildings. These challenging, like in order to having like a greenhouse and have a good sun direction, ventilations, it's not an easy. And I'm using like also having urban cities, as you know, it's like a lot of lack of resources for plumbing fittings and equipments for agriculture. Okay, the fun things I remember when the bees starting to coming inside the greenhouse. and I like was wow. At least I still can see the nature is doing. You know, aquaponics like in urban cities not an easy. So I said, oh really, it's working. So I start to having the belief and work hard until I see the results. You see, tomato. Yes, it is small, but it's a big thing. Aquaponic can work in this area very much because I can plant any plant I need to use it inside my dining table very easily with the more pure healthy one. As you see, COVID-19 affecting a lot, especially in the lockdown, and like people need to have like some tomatoes, few pieces or cucumbers, but people was like taking more than their needs, and then have a more shortage because also in Gore in the Jordan Valley it's like to supplying during the lockdown. Nobody know when the lockdown will start, so people like just buy more and keep it in their refrigerators, and in the end have been like going to the garbage, unfortunately. Usually people buying from the farmer in the Jordan Valley to one markets, whole markets, which is also outside the urban cities, and then it will be distributed to the malls and to the shops, fruiting and vegetable shops. And instead of that, aquaponics, as you can see here, is working directly, so it can be built inside the urban cities and can save a lot of supply chain. People can directly buy themselves directly from the farm, actually, and it would be fresh, healthy, chemical free, and they can pick as they need, 1, 2, 3 pieces. It's there, so it would help a lot.
So that kind of concludes our private sector representatives, and now we kind of want to talk a little bit more about how change happens systemically. In order to do that, we'd have to kind of hear from what's happening in the NGO world, and so we're going to actually hear from the FAO, the Food and Ag Organization for the United Nations. They're here and also really pushing for next-gen farming and hydroponics and aquaponics. And so we've been talking with them a lot, and they're very excited about the potential of next-gen farming here in Jordan. And so let's hear a little bit about what they've been through.
Jordan is one of the poorest countries in the world from water perspective, and it's considered like the second poorest country in water. That big challenge in water scarcity put Jordan under a major challenge of facing that issue to support the agricultural sector. FAO in Jordan and globally believes as a custodian organization for SDG 2 to reach food security and towards zero hunger, believes that agriculture should sustain and maintain within those challenges facing the sector. We believe in FAO that this could be achieved through climate smart agriculture. And climate smart agricultural practices, it's all supported through technology transfer. We believe that hydroponics is the future of agricultural sector. It faces many challenges in addition to water scarcity, like energy, labor cost, in addition to different issues facing the sector nowadays, especially the closure of the borders that influence the markets. So the sector actually facing big issues of having proper markets internally and externally, and reaching out to consumers in a good quality. Nowadays, FAO is supporting small-scale family farmers, women household families to support their food income and their income actually, and food supplement through agricultural practices toward hydroponics, aeroponics, and aquaponics toward all, as mentioned, aquaculture.
I think aquaponics now is the solution for most of the problems we are facing here in Jordan. using water efficiently, giving more productivity of water, because Jordan is considered one of the poorest countries in the world in terms of water. Aquaponics can provide a new products to be in the Jordanian market. Jordan is not investing so much in fish, but aquaponics can be a solution. We have a lot of agricultural engineers graduating from the universities with these opportunities of employment. Introducing such a new advanced agricultural scheme can help providing more employment opportunities, and it can be directly benefiting the country as a whole, and also benefiting agricultural engineers.
The sector faces many other challenges, like, for example, linking the extension with research. It's important as well to develop the curricula of education at the university stages to match the new technologies, and to depend more on the technology of agriculture. I think it's the time nowadays to stop the waste. It's now the time to stop using the traditional agriculture toward more digitalized and climate smart agriculture technologies.
Well, we've heard from different people in Jordan doing aquaponics, from private sector to organizational level. We wanted to show you what we're doing with one of our prototype greenhouses. We are on a permaculture farm. It's a majority olive trees that are organic, and the permaculture farm here has been helpful to us in our prototype greenhouse with beneficial trees around the perimeter. There's bees on property, there's composting, just permacultural principles. And so it's been helpful for our greenhouse. So we've built this prototype greenhouse really to be an inspiration to local Jordanians, a low-tech greenhouse and system that they can see that's manageable, unlike a large funded high-tech greenhouse. And so we've tried to build this system that could show that it could be manageable with tech, and then also just energy consumption, which that would be an ongoing cost here in Jordan. And so trying to make it as low energy as possible with pumps and just monthly utility costs. And so this farm is built for a family or two that could put in the investment and see produce, one for their family, but also as a business. And so a lot of our vision is not just for providing the amazing produce that aquaponics does, but we want to provide businesses here in Jordan with such a large population of unemployment. And so that's our vision for this prototype, is to keep it low tech and to have it feasible and attainable to a local Jordanian.
And so this is actually designed to be a mid-level, maybe small commercial farm for a family of 2 or 3 that can actually invest their time together and resources together to manage it. And so this is designed to be low tech, so we have a distribution tank that actually can diagnose most of the problems with water flow and pump failures and things like that straight from the header tank. And if there is an issue, for example, a Jordanian can order water from the water tank, from the well, and have it delivered straight to the header tank to resolve any issues, keep the flow rates going, and things like that. So because it's designed to be low maintenance and low, the investment level is low. A normal Jordanian can come in and do their understanding and check of the system, and then go and get on with their day. And all in the meanwhile, they're earning income, they're generating a livelihood for their family. They're also giving them like a group investment, which is what we found to be really essential here in Jordan. But even more than that, they need access to information. And so this is part of what Talua and Aquaponics AI, they exist to provide information for local Jordanians and people across the globe in their local language, because we're wanting all that information to be translated and easily accessible. So a Jordanian can come in here and look at his phone and see, I have something missing, or my pH is low, and an expert is telling me I need to raise my pH or lower my pH, and this is how I do it. And they're hearing that in Arabic. And so, or say you're in Kenya, or you need it in Swahili, or whatever it might be, it would be accessible to you. And as you go through your grow, all you have to do is hook up either the manual entry, so you have, you know, your API test kit that you have and you do the water test, and then you enter that number. It takes 2 seconds and you're done. And then you're already getting the insights from worldwide experts. Or you have your Raspberry Pi hooked up and it has sensors in the water and the pH and the DO and all these other things that it's tracking. And you're receiving live notifications even when you're not on the farm. And so this is essential because we want it to be easy and accessible for Jordanians and others to basically know how to run a system without having to spend years of research just mulling over the research papers. And even the new ones that are coming up now, they'll always be up to date and they'll always know kind of what to do in certain cases, in certain scenarios. And that, I think the buy-in for a Jordanian family is huge because they're not having to pay a lot to get into this market, and they're going to have long-term benefits that last them far beyond the initial investment. And so we're excited about that. And that's exactly why Tallulah and Aquaponics AI exists. We hope you enjoyed this kind of expose on the Middle East and trying to see where aquaponics is going. We just want to share, like, when you get around these people and doing the interviews, it is like they have tons of passion and it's really exciting to see. And so we hope that you felt that, and we hope that you'll get involved and join us along the journey and start this engaging iterative process with us as we continue forward.
Yeah, and our businesses are social enterprises, and they were created that way. And so what that means is here in Jordan, we're collaborating with all types of backgrounds and people, and we need you as well in our collaboration, in our solving problems here in Jordan through aquaponics. And so we're building a community of aquaponic researchers and practitioners and growers and people from all types of backgrounds that can help solve these issues worldwide. And so if you have insights or ideas in how Jordan can be innovative in agriculture and environmental issues, yeah, we'd love to hear from you. So drop us an email or leave a comment. Would love to hear yeah, your thoughts on how aquaponics can impact Jordan.
See you later.